Hello YouTube, it's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome back to Non-Woke Month on my new channel here on YouTube. John Avenger Rodriguez, which is, yeah, that's my real name, but people know that on Facebook anyway. So also in the new year, I'm going to try to, if you can't see my videos here on YouTube, I'm going to post them on Facebook as well so that you can see my stuff. That way I will not be ignored. No technical errors are going to stop me from keeping my passion alive. Tonight we're reviewing another comedy. This one is actually funny compared to Cop Out. And it's from 2007. It's a lot better. And it's a family comedy called Are We Done Yet? This is the sequel to Are We There Yet? Which I reviewed on my old channel a long time ago. I saw this one in the theater. And I had a good time for what it is. For you know, it's a kid's movie. It's a family film that's not that offensive. I mean, it's Ice Cube. This is what he was doing before 21 Jump Street. And after the Friday sequel. So yeah, this came out in April of 2007. I saw it in Manhattan. People were laughing. This is not the poster. Well, this poster kind of looks like the first one, but the one on the DVD was yeah. This says the screenplay is by Hank Nelkin. It was produced by Revolution Studios and RKO Pictures, the same people that did the first one. It's a loose remake of Cary Grant's Mr. Blanding Builds His Dream House, which I've not seen. But it's still a fun movie. Not as good as the first one, but still, it made some money. It made $58 million. That's not as good as the first one, but that was the first one. It came out in January of 2005. There weren't a lot of kids' movies back then. This was in April. This came out right before Spider-Man 3, so yeah. It was filmed in Tsawwassen, British Columbia, Canada. Yeah, but it was set in Newburgh, Oregon. Because in this movie, basically Nick and whatchamacallit and Suzanne, I think it is. Yeah, from the first movie. Let me read the synopsis. After Nick Person brings his new wife Suzanne and her two kids to live with him in his bachelor pad apartment, he soon realizes that there isn't just enough space for all of them. I know the feeling. With a new baby on the way, the Person's family leaves city life behind for the wide open country. Kind of like the great outdoors, except, they don't live there. They're just, there for the summer. Unfortunately, their dream house starts to fall apart. Again, I can relate to that. That's why I laughed in this movie. Around them. So Nick tries to do it himself and ends up way over his head. Yeah, when you're going to build a home from scratch, even if it's built from the outside, you have to fix every problem. Not just by yourself, but get some professionals to do it for you. Trust me, it'll save you a lot of time. But when he hires wacky contractor Chuck, this guy is basically a Gary Stu, if you think about it, because he's good at everything. Not an SJW exactly, but this guy pretty much is prepared for every problem that Nick gives him, even though Nick gets on Nick's nerves. I don't blame him. Chuck, played by John C. McGinley, you've seen him in a lot of films, whose unorthodox methods only make the destruction worse. The persons wonder if they'll ever call this house a home. And it's 92 minutes long, guys. It's very short. It's got a black cast, and of course, John C. McGinley's the white guy, and he's way over his head. He's so over the top. This one doesn't have a commentary. Yeah, the release, it came out in the United Kingdom in June of 2007, but in the U.S. it came out in April. It opened behind Ocean's 13, which I haven't seen, and Pirates of the Caribbean 3, the worst of the films because it's way too long. This is like an hour shorter than that. It was panned by critics. I'm like, they didn't like the first one, okay? I know what kind of movie I was getting to. It's a sequel to a comedy from the 2000s, mid-2000s, with a black family, and this is before Blackish came out. This is before Mixedish came out. This is before Grownish came out. This is before all this wokeness that people have now, where everything's got to be about race, and everything's got to be about gender, and everything's got to be about politics. So again, this is a different time, guys. This is before the writer's strike. So they had to go with it. It's got the same cast coming back. Ice Cube comes back and Nia Long. They still got the chemistry from Friday. You got the two kids that came back. Yeah, Alicia Allen and Philip Daniel Bolden. I wonder what happened to those two. They haven't been in a film in ages. Yeah, the film got an 8%. It's not an 8%. I laughed. Yeah, there's some stupid petty, running gags where there's a Mexican guy that's blind that's doing the fixing their building, and then you have John C. McGinley showing up everywhere. There's a scene where he's walking in power walking through the street and in like booty shorts, and I'm like, yeah, that's a little much. He knows how to deliver a baby. Again, Gary Stu, pretty much. I don't like do-it-all characters. You have to have flaws. McKinley's, His flaw is that he's annoying in the movie. When I first saw it, I thought it was hilarious. Now I'm like, I can see why Ice Cube was like, you're the reason for all my suffering. And I'm like, yeah. But it's not racist, though. I'll say that. They never say the N-word. Are We Done Yet plays it too safe with generic slapstick and uninspired domestic foibles. Yeah, the running gag. There's a lot. There are references from the first film. Like there's a deer in the woods, and then they run away because they remember when Nick saw the deer in the first one and he kicked them in the face. And then there's also a raccoon that's on top of the house. Hey, I went through that a few years ago. There was a raccoon living in my in the shingles in my home. I never told you that, but yeah. Rocket was literally nesting in my room, up in my roof, and I heard the screeching. It sounds like a cat. Never play with a raccoon. Trust me on that one. Metacritic, they gave it a higher 36 out of thing. Yeah, unfavorable reviews. Again, I don't hate it. Audiences gave it a B. It's a fun kids movie. There's no offensive dialogue. They do mention a lot of like gas prices going up. I remember that. It's not as witty as the first one. The soundtrack isn't as good as the first one, but there's still some laughs to be had. If you have kids, they're gonna like it. It says 1 out of 5 stars. Wrote McGinley, as it happens, is the film's only trump card. His madcap multitasker, stealing every scene he's in and leaving the movie's normal star for dead. Well, he could have been a little toned down a little bit because I'm like, you get it. He's the weird white guy that can do everything. In one of the film's positive reviews, they gave the film a B, praising McGinley and calls Ice Cube's performance strangely charming. Yeah, he has some good moments with the kids, especially with what was it, Kevin. In the first movie, he was like trying to get rid of him. In this one, he's trying to be his like father figure, like a stepdad that he can look up to. There's a scene where they go fishing, which is a pretty funny scene, and then Nick falls off the boat, and then he sees this giant fish. He's like, it's kind of funny. It's a kids movie, guys. You're not gonna see Ice Cube say fuck in this movie. And no, this review will not be for kids. It is gangster, but it's winning all the time. Yeah. Again, Ice Cube's not a thespian. He's a comedic actor. He's a character actor that does a lot of stuff where he's frowning a lot. But I get it. He's a rapper. He was first a rapper, so you can't exactly get deep acting from the man that was in the NWA. Yeah. Again. Or NRA or something like that. I think it was NWA. But anyway, you get what you pay for. But I did like this movie. I got it for $2 at Best Buy. It was on sale, and it's a fun movie. If you've never seen this sequel, it's not as horrible as the critics say it is. Trust me on this one. There's way worse sequels with Ice Cube, like freaking Ride Along 2. That's probably way worse, because you got Kevin Hart doing the same thing he did in the first movie. And there's other actors in the movie. I forgot who else is in the cast. You have Canadian actress Linda Cash is in the movie. You have this guy that he was in the Daddy Daycare movie. Not Jeff Garland, the guy that played Mr. Cubits. You have like an extended cameo by Smart Guy himself, Taj Mowry. You have Alexander Kalugin as the Russian contractor. You have Dan Joffrey as Billy Pulu. They got these they're basically like what was it, Hawaiians. You have Jacob Vargas as Mike the Plumber. You got a dancing man. You have played by Chris Gautier. You have Tara Mercurio as Ellie. You got Magic Johnson in the cameo. This isn't like an Adam Sandler movie where everything, everybody in the cast is just there to pick up a check. Here, at least the movie is funny to me anyway. You also have Grandma Pulu. Yeah, it's not a very big cast. It's like a decent sized cast. But if you haven't seen this movie, it's worth your time. It's a funny little film for kids. And if you hate it, well, I don't blame you. But I'm not going to hate it just because it's a PG movie from 2007. You can see a lot freaking worse than this. Like I said, Ride Along 2 or Jack and Jill or something like that. Those are way worse. This at least is passable. It's tolerable. Trust me on that one. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Take care, and I'll see you in the next review.